This is the AEW Dynamite June 19, 2024 full show results video which takes place at EagleBank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia. The show started with a match between Maxwell Jacob Friedman vs. Rush, and the result of this match was Maxwell Jacob Friedman defeated Rush by pinfall with the Sheardrop Brainbuster. Post-match, Hechicero and Cage of Agony appear on the Tron and Brian Cage tells MJF that he's got Hechicero at Forbidden Door and the Sorcerer cuts a promo on Max in Spanish and Toa Liona roars. Renee Paquette interviews Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, Dante Martin, and Mark Briscoe backstage and Mark cops to losing their match last week, but he's not focusing on that because the word of the day is vengeance and the word of the day is redemption. That's right, 2 words of the day. He talks about the ladder match and Perry walks by silently, leading Mark to tell him to get his ass out of here, and Orange gives Renee one of his bracelets. Will Ospreay makes his entrance and gets in the ring, and Swerve Strickland also makes his entrance and joins him. Ospreay says the last time they were in the ring together he snatched that belt and held it on his shoulder, and Swerve said he couldn't carry the weight, but he's very well capable of that. Strickland says actually he's the best in the world and he's been watching him, and notes that they've taken 2 different career paths to culminate here at Forbidden Door. Swerve says Will holds titles in multiple promotions. Well, he's got a foot in wrestling and a foot in the entertainment world, and asks Ospreay if he's gonna have to ask for help from Don Callis to win the title, and Will takes offense to this and says he doesn't need Don or his family, he can do this by himself. Shane says Will doesn't understand the sacrifices he's going to have to make to get where he is, up to sacrificing his son, and he doesn't think he's ready, and Will grabs his arm and tells him not to mention his son and not to make this person. Prince Nana grabs the mic and tells them to save that emotion and that fire for Forbidden Door. Ospreay goes to leave and Shane stops him, asking what if he wants to make this personal? When he comes for the title, it's always personal, so he tells Will to go home and send his regards to Al and Harry, and this gets Ospreay right back in the ring, forehead to forehead jawing. Backstage, Trent Beretta is fired up about Will disrespecting Don and the family, but Don Callis calms him down and leads them off while Kyle Fletcher looks disgruntled in the background. Then we saw a match between Dante Martin, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy vs. Don Callis family, Roderick Strong, and Zack Sabre, Jr., and the result of this match was Dante Martin, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy won the match by pinfall with an orange punch from Cassidy on Zack Sabre, Jr. Post-match, Jack Perry lays Dante Martin out on the stage and Mark Briscoe chases after him, but Konosuke Takeshita meets him and they brawl to the back, and Orange and ZSJ square up. Mercedes Moan cuts a promo at Stephanie Baker about how she's gonna win at Forbidden Door. Then we saw a match between the Acclaimed vs. Young Bucks, and the result of this match was the Acclaimed won the match by pinfall with a lateral press from Anthony Bowens on Matthew Jackson, earning an AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Mariah May presides over the contract signing for the AEW Women's World Championship match at Forbidden Door. She introduces Mina Shirakawa and Toni Storm in turn before saying she hopes the best woman wins, but she wants them to know that she loves them both, and no matter what happens, Mina takes the mic and tells her to shut up. She says everybody says, we want Mina, and nobody wants Toni anymore, and at Forbidden Door, she's gonna take her title and her girl, and Shirakawa signs the contract. Storm says if she raises her voice at May again she'll slap her bloody tits off, and if she doesn't want Toni Storm, well, this buffet is wide open, so grab a bowl and line up because darling, she has some advice: chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. Toni proceeds to sign the contract and it's official, and Mariah says it's official, and Shirakawa tells her she has to choose. The Outcasts come down and Saraya says she's sick of this, and she brought Anna Jay with her to attack Mariah May on the floor. They lay Toni and Mina out and lean the table in the corner, but Storm recovers and attacks them with the shoe, and German suplexes Saraya, charging in, Knight slides away, and Toni hip attacks the table in the corner. The next match happened between Chris Statlander vs. Nyla Rose, and the result of this match was Chris Statlander defeated Nyla Rose by pinfall with a tombstone piledriver. Post-match, Stokely Hathaway gets on the mic and calls Willow Nightingale out and tells her that if she lays hands on either of them she'll be pop-locking in the same cell as Justin Timberlake. Willow cuts him off on the Tron and wishes us a happy Juneteenth before congratulating Chris on her win, and she points out she's got Serena Deeb on Friday, and when she wins and moves on to the second round, there will be no more running and she'll be one step closer to her goal of Wembley. Then we saw a match between Daniel Garcia versus Titus, and the result of this match was Daniel Garcia won the match by pinfall with a lifting DDT. Post-match, Gates of Agony and Hechicero show up to beat up Daddy Magic and Daniel Garcia. Brian Cage is here too, and MJF makes the save but gets overwhelmed by that damn numbers game, and Hechicero puts him in a wacky lave armbar and Will Ospreay makes the save. Rebound handspring kicks for Hechicero and Cage both, and as they clear the ring they back into each other and they have a moment and Friedman leaves, nodding at Garcia. Ospreay helps Daniel up and raises his hand and holds the International Championship up in front of him. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Claudio Castagnoli versus Pac, and the result of this match was Pac defeated Claudio Castagnoli by pinfall with a crucifix pin. Post-match, Claudio is upset while Pac stares Danielson down, and commentary hypes up our next week of shows, and the show goes off the air.